my secret grandmother. No, that's in the turnaround. I just saw the on the way. I love that thing. Yeah.
Invite Ms. Montesinos to come forward and lead us in the pledge. If we'd all stand and face the flag. Come on all the way forward. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Ms. Montesinos, do you want to come to the microphone and tell us what brings you here tonight?
Tell me why you're here. Why are you here?
I'm having a presentation for my dad.
All right, good to have you here for your presentation for your father. Let's have a hand for Ms. Montesinos. We'll start with a proclamation about Roswell Reads. Whereas reading is an activity of great value to all citizens of all ages and backgrounds, and whereas many communities across the nation have initiated a citywide reading programs which have helped in building a greater sense of community, have promoted reading throughout the community, and have helped students understand that reading is important in and out of our schools. And whereas the Historic and Cultural Affairs Division of the City of Roswell, in partnership with the Roswell Library, a part of the Atlanta Fulton County Library System, Friends of the Roswell Library, and many community volunteers have established Roswell Reads, a citywide reading program. And whereas additional support for the program has been provided by the Roswell Junior Women's Club, Roswell High School, Centennial High School, and the Roswell Rotary Club. And whereas the committee has selected Sweeping Up Glass by Carolyn Wall to be read during the months of January through March of 2013. And whereas there will be an array of book discussions, programs, and events centered around the selected book to enhance everyone's understanding and enjoyment of it during the months of February and March. And whereas there will be a literary luncheon featuring the author Carolyn Wall on Saturday, March 16th, 2013, as the concluding event to celebrate the author and her literary talents. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Wood, Mayor of the City of Roswell, do hereby proclaim all of January, February, and March as Roswell Read months, and call upon all of our citizens to recognize the special observance by participating in Roswell Reads, a citywide program. And Morgan Rogers has more to say on that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm here tonight as a stand-in for the girl Morgan, who's a little under the weather. Will Rogers once said that a man only learns in two ways. One is by reading, the other is association with smarter people. Looking around tonight, I would say that most folks around here need to read more. In this world of multimedia, instant contact, 3D CinemaScope, and otherwise technical stuff, some folks think reading is old school, but it's not. In 2011, 167 million adults, or 73% of all adults, read at least one book, and the average reader read 4 books in that year. As an avid reader myself, it is with great pleasure that I introduce the committee behind the successful program known as Roswell Reads. As I call your name, if you'd come forward: Louise Conti, Lisa Pizzuto, Janice Tedford, Judy Stanton, and Linda Smither.
Let's have a hand for Roswell Reads Group.
As always, we have a copy for each of you of our book, Sweeping Up Glass, and the committee will
Thank you.
hand them out. And we would like, first of all, to thank all of you, Mayor Wood and City Council, for the support you have given us for this citywide reading program over the last 8 years. This is our 8th year. When the Roswell Reads Committee starts considering books for the Community Read program, we try to find authors who are not necessarily the most well-known out there, but whose works have received excellent reviews. We like to introduce readers to a book or an author that they might not necessarily have picked up or read their works. So we are very excited to have Carolyn Wall coming in March. Not only is she a good writer, but she also teaches writing, and she'll be conducting a class on writing techniques at the Roswell Library on March 15th, on Friday, March 15th, the day before the literary luncheon. And of course, we always encourage all book clubs to read and discuss this book, but we also sponsor book discussions at the library, one during the day, one in the evening, and one on a weekend day. And in considering the themes of our chosen books, we try to come up with programs that will help and enhance the understanding of the book. This year, programs include a history of quilts and quilting, recognizing the signs of mental illness and how to deal with it in a family, and an overview of the Great Depression of the 1930s. This last program will be done by staff, the history department at Roswell High School. We welcome and encourage everyone to read Sweeping Up Glass by Carolyn Wall and to attend a book discussion or a program, and to join us for our literary luncheon with the author on Saturday, March 16th at 11:30 at the Adult Rec Center on Grimes Bridge Road. Thank you very much.
Can you give us a introduction to Sweeping Up Glass?
It takes
I presume you've read this book.
Yes. It takes place in the 1930s. That's why the program on the Depression. And in, well, everybody was struggling at that time, but in Kentucky, in the mountains of Kentucky, in the Appalachian Mountains, it's the story of a woman who is a grandmother, and she's taking care of her grandson as well as her mother, who has mental illness issues, and just struggling to survive. There is a lot of racial tension in the small town where they live as well.
Thank you. I look forward to reading it. I
It's a good
encourage.
book.
And where can they find this book?
We will have copies at the Roswell Library, or you can buy it online. Unfortunately, this one is not available as an e-book or as a book on CD
I don't
or
like those. I
on
like
audio.
books. So I encourage you to read this book and join us.
Okay. You can check it out from the library. The Friends Bookstore has copies if you want to buy them, and it is an
Get down there in a
e-book.
hurry. They're going to be going
You
fast.
can download it to your Kindle or whatever. Okay?
Look forward to a literary luncheon with you all again.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you
And one more
again.
hand for Roswell Reed.
Thank you.
This time I'll call upon Councilmember Becky Wynn for a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Chief Grant is here. This is recognition of the Roswell Police Department being awarded the re-accreditation by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. Chief Grant.
The Roswell Police Department first obtained accreditation in 1995, and this year we have obtained our accreditation for the 6th time. And that's very, very, it's just an outstanding achievement for the department. Only less than 5% of all law enforcement agencies across the country have obtained the accreditation, and for us to have achieved that since 1995 is just outstanding. So all members of the department should be recognized for that achievement. But I recently went to the CLIA conference in Jacksonville, Florida, and what I learned there, talking with other chiefs, is just how important the CLIA accreditation manager is, because what I learned is that most chiefs, if they don't bring back the accreditation, then they probably lose their jobs. So I was unaware of that, so I now understand the significance of the accreditation manager. But let me just read something real briefly, because I can read it better than I can say it. But our accreditation manager is Detective Joel Montezinos. He joined the police department in 1989 and worked as a patrol officer from 1989 to 1993, and as a criminal investigator from 1993 to 1998. He was assigned to administrative duties in 1998, where he was given responsibility for the development of directives, policies, procedures, general orders, strategic planning, support, research and format development, and accreditation. He has been the driving force behind keeping the accreditation status of the police department since that time. In addition to overseeing the accreditation process through the Commission of Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, which is known as CALEA, he oversees the state certification program developed by the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police. He has ensured the department keeps this distinguishment of having both a CALEA advanced accreditation and Georgia state certification. Detective Montezinos is currently assigned to the Office of Professional Standards, where in addition to his accreditation responsibilities, he conducts internal affairs investigations and oversees the department's polygraph program. He is nationally recognized as an expert in the field of polygraphy and is a published author in the field. He has instructed polygraph science at the local campus of Troy University and is a guest instructor at regional and national conferences. He is also currently the president of the Georgia Polygraph Association. Detective Montezinos also works professionally with both CALEA and the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police. Since 2000, he has been an assessor for the state certification program, and since 2002, a team leader in that program. In 2009, he became an assessor for CALEA. He travels to law enforcement agencies locally and nationally, conducting assessments to confirm their adherence to the standards established by these organizations. Our department has benefited from the many new ideas and programs he has brought from other accredited and certified leaders in the law enforcement profession. Due to his language skills, Detective Montezinos conducts many assessments in Mexico, where there is a small but healthy movement to professionalize Mexican law enforcement. Detective Montezinos says he is very proud of being part of ensuring the Roswell Police Department remains a leader and an example for other law enforcement agencies in Georgia across the country in an effort to improve the management of law enforcement services around the world. Detective Montezinos, would you step forward?
Let's have a hand for the Roswell Police Department accreditation and Detective Montezinos. And I'd like his family to join him. Anything to add to that, Detective?
You have any? That's it. I appreciate everything that he does, because it's a very, very difficult job that he does.
After 14 years of working in accreditation, I think the class on recognizing mental health might be in order for my family, who have been great support for me. It has been a true honor to have worked in this city, and I want to thank every one of you for the support that you've given our department. It's something that's so dear and near to my heart. And as I'm getting down to the age where I'm starting to think about retirement and those wonderful graduated years, I just thank God that there are people who are willing to step up and take this from me. So I think that we got a great department. Thank you.
Thank you, Detective. I think we have another recognition.
Yes, sir, we do. But real quick, the first time I met the detective was 2 years ago at the Police Citizens Academy, and you were doing the polygraph, and you asked for volunteers, and Nancy and I said, no way you're going to get a polygraph. But thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you. The next one is recognition of Police Detective Ken Kraus for his successful completion and graduation from the University of Tennessee National Forensic Academy, also known as the Body Farm. So, to you, Chief.
Yes, and first of all, I think you're all familiar with this, but you can't mention Ken Kraus's name without remembering that he's an American hero. That back in 1979, he was a Marine embassy guard when the embassy was overrun, and he was taken hostage and actually put on trial, and later he was released. But if you didn't know that, he is a true American hero for that. In addition to that, in 1995, he became a Roswell police officer and quickly worked his way up to working forensic investigations. About 3 months ago, he had been wanting to go for some time, but he went to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville to the National Forensic Academy, and it's a premier forensic institute where agencies from all over the country and internationally send their officers to learn how to do forensic investigations. And he's to be commended. It's a 10-week class. He lived there for 10 weeks, over 400 hours. Just a tremendous opportunity. He brings back a tremendous amount of information to us. We also have a video that lasts about 6 minutes, and it demonstrates how important it is and what he's learned better than I could. So if we could
roll it.
Roll it.
There's lights going on and off.
Yeah, it worked
back on
fine
the
earlier
control
when
room.
I was here. We had dress rehearsal this afternoon.
Technology, it's never there when you want it.
Yeah, a few things that they covered while they were at the class. They learned blood-stain pattern analysis, bombs, booby traps, threats at the scene, computer sketching and mapping, criminal investigative analysis, DNA, firearms and tool mark identification, footwear and tire impressions, forensic fire investigations, photography, post-blast investigations, post-mortem fingerprinting. I'm sure that was interesting. Serial number restoration, shooting incident reconstruction, trace evidence, death investigations, all different phases, and also forensic anthropology will actually learn to, when they're on the scene.
While we're waiting, why don't you bring Ken Krause forward? Let's have a hand for Ken Krause. Ken, I heard enough of the chief telling him about what you learned. Tell us what you learned.
Mayor Wood, Ms. Love, ladies and gentlemen of the esteemed Roswell Council, it's humbling here for me today to say thank you very much. And this wouldn't have been possible without your support. Since 2004, when I first learned about the body farm and the forensics up there, and understanding that that would be probably what they called the Harvard of hellish violence. And what makes it so special to want to go up there is that there's no other training like this. It's hands-on and real forensics at a college level. And for someone in a department like this, as small as we are, but still have a lot of duty to provide for the services for our citizens. It took 8 years, and with your support, the support of my department, my fellow workers, and my family, I really do appreciate it. And it's my personal pledge to each one of you, our citizens and our residents of Roswell, along with the department that I work with, my fellow employees, to use all my experience, all my training, my know-how, my resources, for as long as I continue to work here, to make Roswell one of the safest and the nicest places to live, and provide the best services we can, and know that there's no reason why, with the support we have here, the leadership, the management that we have in Roswell, that we can't, for any reason, be probably the #1 forensic police department in the entire state of Georgia. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that goal. Let's have a hand for Kevin Krause. All right, I believe we're ready to roll it. Gentlemen, have a seat while we roll the video.
Do we have the video working?
It briefly worked. Guys in the control tower, do we...
Okay, thank you.
Give me a hint, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down here.
He's still trying to get it going.
All right, we're going to go forward with the Partnership for Transportation, and if you can get it running, we'll try to return to that. And at that, so I will call upon Councilmember Price for Transportation.
Are you talking about the consent agenda?
No, 2012 Partnership for Transportation Quality Pre-Construction Design Award.
That's under your report.
I'm passing the ball off to you so you can
All right.
take some credit for the wonderful things that your department is doing.
Well, thank you very much. Number 4, under the mayor's report, as presented by myself. By me, excuse me, let me get my grammar correct. A presentation of the 2012 Georgia Partnership for Transportation Quality GPTQ Pre-Construction Design Award to the City of Roswell and Parsons Brinkerhoff. And Mr. Asenbrack will continue.
Thank you, Councilmember Price, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. At a recent Georgia Transportation Summit, your Transportation Department won yet another award. Here it is before you. We have been very fortunate to win awards for some of our creative designs in the past. We've won awards for roundabouts, for intersection improvements, for bridges. But this is a special award because this one involves process. As you know, we're trying to thread a needle. We're trying to make a very difficult engineering challenge by adding a fourth lane to eliminate the reversible lanes through a very sensitive environmental area with the National Park Service, through a very sensitive historic area, through our downtown area, and the challenges are great. We are doing this not only as an engineering challenge, but what we're trying to do is leave no stone unturned with our design elements by exploring everything and by engaging our stakeholders through the public participation process. By engaging everybody and getting their buy-in and getting their comments, we're actually leading the pack, if you will, in our award-winning efforts of trying to bring this very difficult engineering challenge to the city in a way that everybody embraces it. Of course, we don't do this alone. We do this through our partners, our engineering consultants, Parsons Brinkerhoff, represented here by our project manager, Jonathan Reed, who I'm sure you're very aware of. Very competent, very capable, firm individual. His team, Alice Wiggins, who you probably know has been instrumental in what she's done as far as outreach, best in class. Our environmental efforts by Valerie Birch. On my staff here, Rob Del Ross, David Lowe, the rest of the transportation staff. Again, it's been a team effort, and we're very proud to have won this award on your behalf.
Let's have a hand for the best department, transportation department in the state. And you're bringing so much awards, we're getting used to these now. But it's always great to see that you're getting the recognition that you deserve. I think the passage of this bond issue with 65% shows that your department has the confidence not only of the council but of the citizens of Roswell in this environment to pass with that margin when we know what happened with the rest of the state.
Right.
Shows that they've got confidence in your department, and I want to appreciate the department and the leadership for moving Roswell ahead and solving our transportation projects, and the creativity and innovation you bring are extraordinary. So one more hand for a great transportation department. Thank you for bringing that award back home today. And at this time, I'd like to call Joe Glover to come forward and give us the report. Councilman Orleans is not here tonight, so I will introduce Joe Glover. Roswell Recreation Department, another award-winning department. Joe, how many times has Roswell won the state award now? Unprecedented.
9 times.
9 times. No one else has done that.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, we're here tonight to present the annual report, and I'm going to ask Chairman of the Recreation Commission, Deborah Ewing, to come up and give that report, and then we have a couple real small, quick presentations after that.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm Deborah Ewing. I'm Chair of the Roswell Rec Commission, and it's an honor to be here tonight on behalf of the Rec Commission and staff to present the annual report for 2011-2012. I'd like to recognize Tom Pratt's here and Angela Parham. She's our newest member, and we're very excited to have her. So they're commission members. You want to stand up?
While we're recognizing Tom Pratt, I want to thank Tom Pratt and everyone else who volunteered to make that bond issue a success. Tom led up the Citizens Committee. The city could not take a position officially, but Tom, as an individual, and his friends were the driving force behind that 65% approval rating. So let's give a hand for Tom and that 65% approval. Good job.
Well, it's been another exciting year for this department. The department has been recognized as the Agency of the Year for the state of Georgia, as we said, 9 times. That's unprecedented. The department also went through an exhausting national accreditation process this summer. The committee came, and I want to thank the council for their support. The committee said they have never seen a council or a commission so supportive of a Recreation and Parks Department ever. So I know that was an exhausting process, but the city, the department, and the commission believes that this is a very important process to go through. And of course, they were approved. This is the second year that the department was recognized as a gold medal finalist by the National Park Recreation and Parks Association. I want to stand up here like Norma Ray with a sign and say, the nation knows this department. They know what this department does for the citizens of Roswell. We've had a number of additions to the park system this year. Restrooms at Don White Park, a new bandstand with an incredible roof, it's beautiful, and extensive sidewalks and landscaping at our 3 historic homes, and the volleyball court, which has been hugely successful, which I was a little surprised. As a matter of fact, we're putting in a second one too. And we're going to be, they're so busy, we have to schedule them, and we're going to start renting them, too. The Commission has really focused this year on updating all our policies. We're halfway through. We should be finished first quarter of this year. We approved the master plan, our 5-year strategic plan that gives direction to the department. We also amended the fee policy so that any revenues collected from program fees pay all direct program costs and a portion of the full-time staff. We think, of course, our full-time staff is extremely important. They're professionals, and our programs are run professionally, and they're consistent. We have also focused on increasing revenues this year. The turf fields will be an extremely valuable we'll be able to use those to increase our revenues for soccer and lacrosse tournaments. Those tournaments bring in hundreds of people to Roswell to spend money in our hotels and food and restaurants. So we think that that's going to even increase our revenues more. Thank you very much. We're very excited about them. In this year's budget, we'd like to ask for additional money for maintenance, maybe beautification for our parks. We have thousands of people that use our parks, not only our residents, but residents from Cobb County and other cities come to our parks, and we think it's important to beautify them. We want to thank you for your continued support this year. We couldn't be the department we are without your support. At this time, we'd like to present the gold medal and the accreditation award. The gold medal certainly proves we are a top nationally recognized program. The accreditation award validates we operate within national standards. There are only about 110 organizations, agencies that are accredited. Yay! Yay!
I'd like to get everybody with the Rec Commission up here I have more Rec Commission members down there. Folks, you need to come up here and take credit for all this good stuff. And I'm sure the council would like to join you and get their picture taken with those awards. Council, would you like to yes, I don't need to ask them. So let's join them to celebrate the moment.
All those in the picture.
And one more hand for the Rec Commission and all the things. Let's give a hand for these folks.
Just take a picture. Careful.
Y'all ready?
Thank you so much. Congratulations. We're going in. All right, now it's time to get down to business. Oh, we have the DVD ready to play. One more. Let's roll it.
The University of Tennessee National Forensic Academy is a hands-on training program for crime scene investigators. Recognized in 2007 by the International Association of Chiefs of Police with the first August Vollmer Excellence in Forensic Science Award for contribution to forensic science. Funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the NFA looks to experts from law enforcement and the university to provide instruction. Among the esteemed instructors at the National Forensic Academy is UT Professor Emeritus, Dr. Bill Bass.
You think about things that, gee, it would be nice to do this, and then you go, you do it, and you find, my gosh, it is even better than what you expected it to be. And the National Forensic Academy is that. It is considerably better than I ever dreamed of it to be. It covers way more material. I think that the training is very realistic. You're doing it. You're doing it in outside, in whatever environment that happens that day. It covers explosions, covers crime scene searches, covers blood spatter, it covers recovering of skeletal remains on the ground and to dig a burial. These are things that the average law enforcement officer never gets an opportunity to do. Let's go back to explosions. I mean, I've had a few cases in which people have been blown up in cars, but I've never done this before. The Forensic Academy decided this is something the students ought to learn about. The things that are hidden in the ashes that can tell you what happened. I know what went wrong. And that's rewarding. I mean, that really is rewarding. We want to have hands-on experience dealing with a dead body. Not a mannequin, I mean, not a plastic skeleton. We want you to look at the real thing, and if you break a bone, you need to know, hey, what does it take to break a bone? You want to be able to speak for the dead, and we in forensics have that opportunity. I get this when I'm going out and talking to police and see some of the graduates that have been here. They're all have nothing but good things to say about the program and what they've learned and how valuable it's been to crime scene investigation when they've gone back. Crime scene is not something that is easy to do. If you go to court, the jury sees all these nice illustrations and so forth of what's there, and you think, gee, this was easy to do, but it's not. A forensic investigation is difficult. If you decide that you want to have a coat and tie and not get dirty, then forensics is not the area that you want to be in. You're looking at it from the scientific approach. Science is not clean. I mean, you've got to get out there and get dirty in order to be able to do it.
Thank you so much, and we are proud to have you serving the city of Roswell, and we do believe we have the safest city in the state, and that is in large part to the excellent police service we receive and the dedication of our police officers, and anything that this council can do to improve those services to the city, this council wants to do. Let's have one more hand for our great police department. Thank you, sir. All right, as I said, back to work now. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilmember Wynn. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Diamond. Does anyone in the audience have any questions regarding the consent agenda? We have a question from Councilmember Price.
This is the item I was referring to earlier regarding number 4. I don't need to extract it. I just want to make a comment on it for anybody that was curious what that was. And this was to complete the Midtown Sidewalk project just south of Holcomb Bridge and Highway 9, which has been a long time coming. It spanned 3 council members, liaison to the department, to finally get it accomplished, and we're excited to be closing in on it.
I want to thank the Transportation Department for their patience in dealing with our private property owners and not having to go through condemnation to get here. I know it was a long process, a lot of negotiations, but at the beginning, we had estimated it was going to cost us a whole lot more. So not only did we keep our constituents happy, we saved our city money, and it was a good result, and as a result of hard work on our transportation department. So y'all did a great job on that. Thank you. All right, any other questions?
One more comment. Just a special thanks to Clyde Strickland for his patience in getting it accomplished as well, such that we didn't have to call in the forensics group.
All right. Anyone else have any questions regarding the consent agenda? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. At this time, we'll call upon Councilmember Rich DiPolito, liaison to our Admin Finance Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item is approval of budget amendment number 100-15850-12-10-12 to increase the fiscal year 2013 approved budget by $14,586,503. Mr. Lee.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the Council. Tonight I'm presenting the mid-year budget adjustment. This adjustment or amendment has 5 components. One is a reappropriation of existing funds in FY13, reappropriation of FY12 available general fund operating funds in the amount of $138,000, appropriation of general fund balance for $5,555,000 for capital projects, appropriation of fund balance and other funds for $438,000, and authorization to use general fund balance for approved bond projects in advance of receiving bond proceeds in the amount of $1,450,000. The first component has to do with moving the strategic planning and budget cost center from administration to finance, and the reappropriation of the merit increases to the various departments out of the citywide cost center. Second component is reappropriation of FY12 available general fund operating funds in the amount of $138,503.
Could you explain to the folks in the audience when we say reappropriation what we mean?
From reappropriation, these funds were already allocated at a previous approval of this mayor and council, and we are moving them from one...
They weren't spent in the last budget year. We expect spending them in this year, so we're taking something we previously approved and rolling it over to this year from money we didn't spend.
Correct, yes, sir. So for those funds, it's hospitality and events and administration, abatement of property code violations, the demolition of the house on Oxbow Road, replacement of a water meter vault at the fire department on Maxwell Road, funding for an assessment for the police chief selection process, and $70,000 for retirement contributions.
Do I have any questions from the council or the audience regarding this category? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next category has to do with funding of capital projects and from general fund balance. $525,000 for property acquisition, $70,000 for grant match for the Big Creek phases 3 and 4 from the Atlanta Regional Commission, $150,000 for the Midtown Gap project, $3.8 million for the North Fulton radio system, $10,000 for bike racks, and $1 million for citywide resurfacing and reconstruction.
Do I have questions from the council about any of these items? Do I have any questions from the audience? Yes, come forward, please.
Thanks. $10,000 for bike racks?
Correct.
Where are they going to go? Who's going to approve the locations? What design are you going to use? And are they going to be located near... You're about to spend money on bike racks, but you didn't have any money to spend on benches for people to wait for the bus. That really kind of... And I'm a bike enthusiast, as you well know, but I'm offended by that personally. You don't care enough about people who take transit, but you're willing to spend $10,000 more on bike racks. Doesn't sit well.
Well, let's see if we can answer your questions. I understand your position. Mr. Asenbach, can you answer those questions?
Mayor, I can answer some of them. It is a work in progress. The intent is to use our standard bike rack that we've used all over the city, and we are going to field these, basically. What we are hearing from our citizens is that they would use bicycle transportation more if they had what we call end-of-trip facilities, which is a place to secure their bike once they get there. We talk about parking, and this is another type of parking. So we are going to explore fielding these all over the city. There's a number of issues associated with the right-of-way and easements and those sorts of things, and I don't have that plan finalized, but we are actively working on that right now.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone else in the audience have any questions about any of these items? Councilmember Price.
If Steve would just stay there for just a second. When it comes to seating at MARTA stations, is that the city's responsibility or MARTA's responsibility?
We like to facilitate the experience, and we want to encourage more people to use transit. So what we have done in the past is we've looked at things such as the shelters, the semi-seats, and these other things to help encourage ridership on MARTA. It's actually not our responsibility to provide those facilities, but we certainly work with MARTA in a partnership to do that.
Like the current seats that we have.
Mm-hmm. We paid for those. Basically, all we get out of a MARTA stop is a sign. It's a stop. It's a location. We identify where the bus is going to stop. And what we've done is expand that by providing the bus shelters, as you know, and these little semi-seats in order to make our money go farther, which is a little place for people to sit down. It's a very simple solution to waiting for the bus.
Some were provided, though, by MARTA, were they not?
No, ma'am. We paid for all of those. We used the MARTA funds that we got from the offset program, but they were all our brainchild, and we did the Finish the Connection, as you recall, the bus shelters and the semi-seats, and then sidewalks. That was our MARTA offset program.
Right. Thank you.
I'll recognize Ms. Russell in a minute. Anyone else wish to comment or any questions? Ms. Russell, I'm going to make an exception and I'll allow you to answer a follow-up question.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Price, I'd like to clarify that for you. The City of Roswell received $1,645,000 in MARTA offset money. This council voted to use of $1,645,000, $500,000 to make the Roswell connection across Holcomb Bridge Road. They only allocated of $1,645,000, $250,000 for bus shelters and semi-seats. But MARTA would provide bus shelters for free if the city of Roswell would permit advertising on them. But we all know that it's more important not to have advertising than it is to have women and children standing in the rain waiting for buses on Highway 9 6 feet from from cars that are zooming by. The city used MARTA money, and you council members voted. I sat here when you only allowed $250,000 of $1,645,000 worth of MARTA money to use for MARTA passengers. The rest you chose to use on other projects that you made look like MARTA projects but were not connected. I just want to make that clear since you're the transportation person, Mrs. Price. And if you'd like to sit with me and wait in the rain on a semi-seat, which is no larger than a camping stool, that has no back for your weight, while you wait, I invite you to join me any day at the semi-seat. Now, they're not at every pole, and we only got 10 shelters. We are now in winter. I'll just let you know that when you sit on the semi-seat in the summer, the temperature gets to about 125 degrees on a metal chair. So if you happen to have on thin clothes, your bottom would look like a grilled hamburger, because that's how hot it is. If it's rained, you better bring a towel with you because you'll have to wipe the seat off since there is no protection. I have begged, I have pleaded, I have implored you for almost 35 years to have respect for people that have chosen to use alternate forms of transportation besides cars. But this city council has simply refused to use MARTA money for MARTA projects. I heard that you voted to use the last $457,000 of MARTA offset money to build a sidewalk so that people that go to Canton Street to eat can have a nice sidewalk. And you're going to use the rest at the City Hall grounds. You're going to spend twice as much money building a sidewalk with MARTA money for City Hall than you used on all of the bus shelter and semi-seat projects. I do not fault transportation. They asked you for more. You denied it.
Does anyone else have any questions regarding this category? If you'll proceed, please.
The next category has to do with allocating fund balance from two enterprise funds and special revenue fund, $420,000 in the stormwater fund for Terramont, Drive Culvert, Big Creek Wetlands, and a dump truck, and $18,000 in confiscated assets for a K-9 unit.
Does the council have any questions regarding this category? Anyone in the audience have any questions? If you'll proceed.
The final category has to do with funding for our bond projects. $1 million for synthetic turf fields.
Just so I've got an understanding, this is the bond projects will be funding these projects, but we're in essence loaning the bond projects some money to jumpstart these, and then when the bond money comes in, this money will be restored to the general fund.
That's a great way to put it, Mayor. Yes, we are advance funding these projects, and when the bond funds are received by the city, we will reimburse the general fund. $1 million for the synthetic turf fields, $300,000 for the Holcomb Bridge Road at SR 400 interchange, and $150,000 for the adult rec center improvements.
Any questions of council or the audience regarding this category? You'll proceed.
Just to summarize, we started FY13 with $24 million in fund balance. Our fund balance reserve policy is $13.5 million. We allocated $2.8 million in capital projects in FY13. We've reappropriated $138,000 of FY12 funds. We have an unaudited available fund balance in the general fund of $7.574 million. If approved tonight, we will approve $5.555 million for capital projects, $1,450,000 for bond projects that we will reimburse ourselves. That leaves us $569,000 above fund balance, reserved by policy. Once we refund ourselves, we will have $2,019,000 above fund balance policy.
Thank you, sir. Is there anything further?
No, sir.
Do we have a motion? Yes.
Regarding the $1 million that was allocated for road resurfacing, etc., not that we don't need it, we certainly do, but between now and the end of the year, is there any resurfacing going to be done?
No, we have approved the contract, but that paving takes place in the spring, in the summer months.
So actually, we will get some. We'll be able to do some of it, or in the spring.
I may be misstating. Maybe in the summer. I'm sorry.
We already have a contract approved for this year's paving. This is a way to advance sort of a down payment on our coming paving cycle, which will happen in calendar year 13, which is going to come up pretty soon. So this way, we don't have to necessarily take a $1.8 million chunk all at one time. Councilman Orlins has sort of started this process where we sort of take an advance on next year's, and that's always helped us in our future budgeting.
Other questions? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve the budget is presented by Councilmember DiPolito. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Wynn. Councilmember Eichelhardt.
I'd like for Mr. Lee to make a point here that the motion, I assume, is for $14.5 million, but that's actually not the amount that we're going to be spending, and to clarify that.
Yes, sir. When we approve the capital projects, they get double counted in our budget. We move the funds from our general fund to our capital projects funds, so they get double counted. It's just an accounting process.
So we're appropriating about $7 million.
That's correct, yes,
of which $1.4 million is going to be paid back. So the real expenditure here from the general fund is about $5.5 million.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Is that
yes, I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good point. Good clarification. Any other questions or comments? Anyone from the floor have any further questions or comments before we take a vote? Any further discussion by council? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. For the record, Councilmember Orlins is absent with an excuse.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we move to Community Development. Liaison Member, Councilmember Nancy Diamond, if you'd call that agenda.
Thank you, sir. This is RC 1201R, 690 Riverside Road, Taman on the River, Phase 2, L&M Spurl of Archway Custom Homes, Land Lot 494, and Mr. Townsend is here to talk about it.
Yes, this is a proposal or application for a river corridor for 3 single-family homes. The homes will become part of Taman on the River, Phase 2. The applicant is requesting a variance to allow the 3 homes to have access road frontage from the private street. The applicant is intending to have the 3 homes access the existing road that is currently Taman on the River subdivision. This is an aerial photograph showing the approximate 3+ acres, which is going to be included into the Phase 2 of Taman on the River. This subdivision was approved by council for 10 single-family homes in Phase 1. They have 6 homes under construction at this time, and 2 of those homes have been CO'd for families living there. So it's actually, subdivision is really kind of taken off. So this has been reviewed by the Atlanta Regional Commission, found consistent with the Chattahoochee Corridor Plan. Community Development staff recommends approval of this proposed river corridor application. If you have any questions.
Council, any questions? This project that we're talking about, trail connection up to the neighborhood above?
We already have the trail from the first phase.
You want to give us an update on that? I think that's a great project.
This is the area of the 3 homes going to be located in this location. This is the existing home is located here. they will connect to the new road Taman, which has a trail connection to the north all the way through the subdivision, and it will then be able to connect down to Riverside Drive.
So the people from both of these neighborhoods will have a trail that leads directly to the Riverwalk.
There's an easement that allows them, yes, to traverse that location.
That's great. Does the council have any questions? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion for approval by Councilmember Diamond. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember DiPolito. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Yes, come forward, please. You'll give us your name and address?
My name is Tim Wolfman. I want my house back on to the development.
Yes, sir.
My concern is probably, will it be clear cut?
No.
Or what?
No. There's no cut.
If you'll get up and explain.
The question was to whether it would be clear cut. The ARC approval only approves so much impervious and clearing area, enough for the homes and the driveway and for proper slopes away from the actual structures. So no, the lot will not be clear cut.
Because I do notice that...
If you'll come to the microphone, please.
Taman was actually clear cut, that development through there? Right, but so the rest will be... Okay. Right, that's the only question I have.
If you give us your address for the record.
9445 River Lake Drive.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Further discussion by council? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously.
The next item is approval of an amendment to Article 22, Section 22.12 of the sign ordinance, temporary signs regarding the Find It All Roswell campaign and the use of temporary signs. This is the second and I hope final reading. It feels like this has been going on for 6 months. Mr. Townsend.
This is the final reading, second reading for this. We are changing the dates for the Find It All banner program from 2012 to 2014. So hopefully we may completely change it with the UDC and you never see this again, but if not, we see it in 2 years for that campaign.
So we're continuing the banner program for 2 more years?
2 more years for an additional 40 days for businesses, correct.
Mr. Davidson, if you'd read the ordinance.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Roswell sign ordinance regarding Find It All in Roswell campaign and the use of temporary signs within the City of Roswell. Now therefore, pursuant to their authority, the Mayor and Council adopt the following ordinance. Article 22 of the City of Roswell zoning ordinance, signs, Section 22.12, temporary signs, is amended by changing the year from 2012 to 2014 in the following subsection 22.12A3. And if approved, this will be the second reading.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve second reading.
Motion by Councilman Diamond to approve second reading. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Price. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Any further discussion by council? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously.
Next, we have RZ 1207, text amendment to the section of the Roswell zoning ordinance regarding the adaptive reuse administrative approval of the Parkway Village Overlay District. This is also second reading. Mr. Townsend.
This is a text amendment to the Parkway Village section of our code which will allow for adaptive reuse if they do not increase the volume of the structure. This would allow for the enclosure of the carport for the salon that was initiating this type of amendment. Staff would recommend approval at second reading of the proposed ordinance.
Mr. Davidson, if you'd read the ordinance.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to amend Section 12.2.12 of the City of Roswell zoning ordinance regarding the adaptive reuse administrative approval section of the Parkway Village Overlay District of the City of Roswell zoning ordinance. Now therefore, pursuant to their authority, the Mayor and City Council adopt the following ordinance. The City of Roswell is hereby amending Article 12 of the City of Roswell zoning ordinance, Chapter 22.2.12, adaptive reuse administrative approvals by amending the following section, text of which is incorporated herein by reference, and if approved, this will be the second reading.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve second reading.
Motion by Councilmember Diamond. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Wynn. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Any further discussion by Yes, Councilmember Price.
Just a quick question. Does Design Review Board have any impact input into that?
Yes, they reviewed the application.
So it will be reviewed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously.
Next is initiation of a text amendment to Section 15.4.1 of the City of Roswell zoning ordinance regarding the exclusion of single-family and duplex residential lots from minimum tree density requirements contained in Article 15, tree protection. Mr. Townsend.
Thank you very much. This is a proposed initiation of a text amendment related to single-family homes and the tree density requirement minimum. We're trying to close or open a loophole, depending on your point of view, in dealing with a situation when a vacant lot does not have any existing trees, and that the cost would be prohibitive for them to meet the tree density of requiring for acre lots. So we are looking to initiate this evening. We're going to be in discussions with the legal department to make sure we get it legally taken care of the right way. It will be processed as a regular text amendment to the Planning Commission, then come back to you for first reading and second reading.
So this is just initiating a discussion?
Correct.
Do we have a motion?
Move to initiate this text amendment.
Motion by Councilmember Diamond. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember DiPolito. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Any further discussion? Councilmember Eichelhardt.
Just a question for Mr. Townsend. Why can't we just say what you just said? Because I'm very concerned about just the way this could be interpreted at some point. I mean, the intent is fine, but it's the end result.
I know we understand the intent. That's why we're going to sit down with the legal department to make sure we get the words there that say that intent.
Because I get that, and I'm okay with that, but I'm very concerned about the ultimate implementation.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilmember DiPolito.
I also want to agree with that. I want to make sure we don't create a loophole here for people to eliminate trees.
Right.
Just be cognizant of that.
Okay.
Any Councilmember Price?
Can you tell us what generated this, or what was the impetus to bring this forward?
I believe it was a subdivision north of Cox Road that was took over a farm. They were dividing property of over an acre in size that was actually farmland, and they were putting in single-family homes, and there were no existing trees on the property.
Because it was fields.
And it was open fields, and it would be, $15,000, $20,000 to put in the number of trees needed to meet the tree density on that size of property.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion by council? Do we have a motion and a second? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. And again, this is just the initiation, Councilman Eichelhardt, and I'm sure you will keep an eye on it.
And I've seen a sneak preview of a draft, so I think you'll be comfortable with it. This next item is approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the cities of Alpharetta, Dunwoody, Roswell, and Sandy Springs for the acquisition of aerial photography and light detection and ranging data, otherwise known as LiDAR. Ms. Wakefield is here.
Yes, thank you. As was mentioned, this is a request to approve an intergovernmental agreement between those northern cities of Alpharetta, Dunwoody, Roswell, and Sandy Springs for the aerial photograph and the LiDAR data. The total cost of this project is estimated to be between $90,000 to $105,000. The cost for the city of Roswell would be approximately $30,000. This is the same basically the same project with a lot of enhancements that took place in 2010 with those cities. The staff's request is that the staff request is that this agreement be approved so we can move forward. And Roswell is taking the lead as far as handling the procurement and so forth.
Looking forward, how often do you think we'll be doing this?
The standard practice is every 3 to 4 years. And based on discussing this with the GIS manager and looking at the record, that has been the practice for the city, along with the other northern cities, to do this every 3 to 4 years.
And I understand it's helpful not just in making decisions, but in deciding where somebody cleared that land of
It's
trees
helpful
before it
in
became, the trees became absent.
identifying clear cut. It's used by not only the transportation and the Public Works Department, but also public safety.
So several departments use this information, and we found it very valuable.
Yes, sir.
Does the council have any questions? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion for approval by Councilmember Diamond. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Eichelhardt. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Any further discussion by council? All in favor of the motion, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. We have a recommendation for closure to discuss personnel and real estate. Acquisition of real estate. Is there a motion for closure? Motion by Councilmember Price. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Wynn. All in favor, raise their hands. Passes unanimously. I would like to invite everyone for a work session to discuss the North Fulton Unified Radio System. This is a system that's going to be the cities of Roswell, Alpharetta, Johns Creek, Milton, and Sandy Springs, and Mountain Park are talking about, and that'll be in room 220. You're invited to attend, learn about cities working together and making our region safer and communicating.